What up? It's Anton81. So I have been underweight, I've also been overweight, and I've kind of been everything in between and along those lines. So today I want to break that down for you so I can tell you and show you exactly how I've ended up in this position today. I'm going to break my transformation down into 5 parts, into pretty much 5 specific timestamps, but a couple of disclaimers. Although the results are physical, the probably main things that have changed for me the most is probably my attitudes, especially towards training and nutrition, and kind of how they've changed over time. I'm a natural dude, okay? I don't even like putting stuff in my hair. I'm never going to waste time putting stuff into my veins. It's not why I do it. I just love weight training, always have, always will, and love a whole other bunch of stuff as well. This is just one of them. Quick rundown. This is boop, boop, boop. They're on me before like the ages of probably 15. For the first few years, as you can see from this photo here, that's just me eating a packet of crisp. Just a skinny kid basically. Don't ask why my dad's got my mum's bandana on. Guess we'll never know. I just wasn't the biggest of dudes even when I was a kid. I've always been on the skinnier slash underweight category. Even when I was playing footy, I was never the strongest. But even you can see from that photo there, that's buck teeth Tony. You can see how kind of skinny and like frail I was even as a kid. And then even this photo here with this afro, I don't know why I'm pretty sure I robbed either my dad's or my brother's belt. Don't know why I've got that buckle on, but again you can see my shoulders are actually quite broad to be fair, looking at that photo, but again I'm just pretty much skin and bone. Moving on. I did dibble and dabble in training before this, but for some reason, literally from the ages of 14 to 19, I just haven't really got any photos of me kind of with any skin showing. I don't think, maybe it was a subconscious thing, but I just can't find any. Also had a couple of phones that I lost, and then a laptop that broke with loads of old photos on, so it might be that. We go to BAM. This is, for me, kind of the photo that set off my whole transformation, to be honest, or at least got me into the gym properly. The main reason being, you can kind of see it there, but all the red parts of me, that's not the lighting, I was covered head to toe in eczema when I was a kid. And I mean like head to toe. I've still got it now in my arms a little bit, but it just is what it is. Luckily it's not as bad anymore. But I had to send this to my doctor, and seeing that photo I was like, oh shit, I need to hit the gym. But you can tell I'd been kind of doing push-ups and stuff in my room on and off for a couple of years, because my chest is quite tight and I've got some broad shoulders for such a skinny stature. But in terms of like reference for kind of weight, I was about 59 kilos there, so I was like light. And then if I can find a photo, I'll put one here on my legs. As you can see, I was skinny. With that being said, I started hitting the gym in uni. I started going to a gym in Leeds. After about 6 months, this is how I was looking. So I started eating correctly. Well, I say eating correctly, just started kind of eating a decent amount. Kept my protein quite high. Training wasn't the best, but I was going to the gym and I was just smashing volume, so it wasn't too bad. I was just having fun with it. But that's how I was looking. And that's probably my first ever like official progress photo. And I don't know, man, even looking at it now, I'm proud of that. A lot of people I was watching at the time was Chris Jones was probably the biggest one in terms of training technique and just like overall kind of approach to training. Loved his videos. Joe Delaney, also a huge influence at the time. And then probably Matos Fitness and Gabriel Say. I don't even know if Gabriel Say still makes YouTube videos. I haven't seen him in ages. But man, I used to love his training videos, and I followed his program for a long time. He had a free one. He was like doing one for beginners with like a client online. So I just used to do that, the pull day and the push day and stuff. But yeah, with Chris Jones, by the way, one of the most influential things he ever said, because he wasn't the tallest of dudes anyway, was you haven't got to be the biggest guy in the gym to have the best physique in the gym. And that was honestly what gave me the confidence to think, you know what, yeah, I can get a decent physique then. So if you're a small dude, please just remember that. Or you know what, just someone who is an absolute unit. You don't have to be the biggest guy in the gym or lift the heaviest weights in the gym to have the best physique. Moving on. So after I took that first progress photo, I thought, oh, you know what, actually I wanna bulk up a little bit. I don't know what caused me to chop all my hair off, but I chopped all my hair off. That's me trying to actually gain a bit of weight. I thought my arms actually looked really big there at the time, so I was like, oh, this is sick. Da, da, da. Yeah, that was me at the end of the bulk. I think I must have bulked up. I must have bulked up to about maybe 63 kilos, and I thought I was fucking huge, but obviously you don't know at the time, do you? But yeah, that was me. So I was actually really happy with this physique for a while, to be honest. But just has kind of luck what have you. My training was all wrong. I'd actually cut back down a little bit again, so this photo here, I was actually made up what I was looking, to be honest. With my physique here, I felt like you could like see my abs, I had a good body, but injuries were really starting to rack up. So I had a bad ankle injury from playing football, but I actually had a shoulder injury from training, which was starting to really mess me up. And I guess I was just ignoring it, and it just gradually got worse, to the point where I couldn't really train anymore. So this photo here, just come back off holiday, but as you can see, I've lost a lot of muscle from like my chest, my arms, my shoulders, but my core was solid because that's all I could train. I was going to the gym like maybe 3-4 times a week, and I was just smashing some abs and core work because I couldn't do anything else pain-free, basically. Again, in terms of timeline, as luck would have it, over lockdown, I was doing home workouts because we had no real weights we could lift and all that kind of stuff, and we had no gyms to go to. I think it helped sort out my shoulder injury for a while, or at least minimise the pain. So I just got back to training. The home workouts I was doing was just like push-ups and pull-ups and just like bodyweight squats. After getting back into the gym and training, this was me, went for a day out. And again, this photo actually lit a bit of a fire under me, because looking back, I didn't really know much about my physique at the time, but I thought that I didn't have enough muscle. But now looking back, I actually look quite soft, but I thought I looked dead small. So I probably made a mistake, but it worked out in the end, and I bulked up. But what it did was, in terms of the bulk, the main thing that I trained was legs, back and chest, because I really tried to get like my torso bigger. I don't know why, I was never really bothered about my arms and shoulders. I just wanted to be a bit bigger. I made loads of progress from it, to be honest, and I actually felt great. And then I cut down, and this physique, this one right here, bro, I was so proud of it, man. Like, I did that one on my own, and like I'm scaled up like a fish, but I'm not too shredded either. I just think that's a great physique. But then, as luck would have it, I got but I got injured again, but on my lower back this time, and it was affecting me training for a while. So I was just on and off for ages. Now, in terms of nutrition, to be honest, all I'd ever done at this point was track my macros with MyFitnessPal. So in terms of meals, I've always just had 4 meals consistently a day. So I just have like 3 main meals and a snack, but my snack kind of floats. So depending on if I'm really busy in the day compared to the evening, I'll either have it in the afternoon or in the my last meal. After this injury, once again, so I've probably stopped and started so many times, but after that injury, I was just nowhere near my best for about 6 months. I kind of felt like I was back at square one, because I was kind of only training like abs and core again, the kind of pain-free, and a little bit of shoulders. So I actually decided to get a coach this time. His name was Isaac. I put his Instagram and his page right there. Really good dude. I actually got into Zoom because I wanted to go into a bulk, because I wanted to put muscle mass on, but he said to me, actually, if I was you, I'd get shredded first, so then you can bulk for longer. So I was like, okay, let's do it. This photo was about 3 months in, and bro, I thought I looked tough, like I thought I was ready to go. Isaac was like, nah, I think you've got a bit more there. I reckon just send it, because we was just in a really good spot. So we did, and man, that was the results. As you can see, I got shredded to the bone. Now, if you're asking, was it really tough? Joe, what, for being honest, no. So the only thing that I'm kind of really disappointed in was the actual photos. Not of me, by the way, but I just hate how dark it was. Like, it makes it look like it was a proper like a moody cut, but honestly it wasn't. The only time it got really tough, a week before I got really ill. Like, I hadn't been that ill in a long time. So we had to push it back because I was so ill and like kind of so shredded. I was just kind of over it at that point because it was meant to be over. It felt like it was just like long overdue. Other than that, to be honest, it was kind of piss easy. So I'd do it again. I'm actually looking forward to kind of getting ripped again. I don't know if I'll get that shredded again, only for the time it takes. But I did it once just to see how far I could take it, and I was made up with the results. I actually still had the same injuries kind of mounting up. So at the end of this, my ankle and my shoulder were just absolutely killing me. So I started going to a physio instead of kind of a coach, just to help me kind of get out of pain, and honestly it worked, so I made up and did it. But this was about 2 months later, and the same principles that I learned from training and nutrition from having a coach, I kind of just took those same principles into the next phase, just on my own this time. For example, biggest mistakes I made when I was training before this was volume. So I've got nothing against high volume training, big fan of it actually, but I used to confuse high volume training with higher volume training. So by that, if I hit a plateau on a bench press, instead of either dropping the volume or messing with the rep range, I would just add an extra set. So I got to the point where I was training for literally hours. I was like a zombie because I was just doing so many sets, so many reps. So as soon as I figured out how to actually cut that down to still make progress, I think that's where almost all of my progress came from in terms of being in the gym, because I actually enjoy training, so I can overtrain quite easily. Over the past couple of years, I've really gone to the routine of just being like in and out of the gym fast, and intensity matters. So I used to also confuse higher volume with intensity. So I used to think, oh, if I did more sets and more reps, that's more intense, but it's not. It's being able to push each set much further than kind of the set before, and fully figuring out progressive overload. I had a decent idea of it anyway, just from like just watching YouTube and stuff like that, but it can get confusing sometimes when you've been doing it for so long and you hit plateaus because you don't know where to go next. As soon as I learned how to kind of maximize my time in the gym with training volume and intensity, I feel like my progress absolutely skyrocketed. And then another thing is cardio. So the first 2 bulks I ever did, I never ever did any cardio, and honestly it showed. I feel like I was just so out of shape, but also like I'd be tying my laces and I'd be out of breath. Whereas now, even this one I'm doing at the minute, which I'll get into, I've been doing cardio the whole time and I've never felt better. So even though I've gained like 20 kilos, 40 pounds, I feel like I feel fresh, I feel in decent condition, I feel in decent nick. So that's a big boost for me. But getting off track, this was me a couple months after, and as you can see, I've just held on to my condition, just a lot more full, which is fantastic. And then I carried that on for the rest of the year basically. So when I first started, I was 59 key. I bulked up to about 65. Then when I was over lockdown, I got to about 72. Well, I stayed at 72 for a long time, and then bulked up to I think 74, 75. But then when I cut down, I actually got back to 64 key. So when I was shredded to the bone, whatever 64 kilos is in pounds, I'll put it right there, but it's not a lot. Anyway, I bulked back up, and this is me. I honestly think this probably might be my favourite physique in terms of the one that I've had, and I was about 75, 76 kilos here, and then I just kept taking that, and then this is me at the end of 2024 at 78 key I think, and then 78 around 78, 80 kilos. I've just been pretty much since 2024 I've just been bulking. So like I said, as a natural dude, I'm trying to gain in about 1 kilo a month. But last year I went to Japan, which I'll put a photo of right there, and I weighed about 85 key there, and you can probably tell from my cheeks. But when I got back, I pushed up to about 86, but I was just hating training, I was hating food, everything just kind of fell off for me. So I went on a mini cut and I dropped down to about 78 kilos, felt a lot better. But now I'm doing one more big push up to 90 kilos, trying to get to 90 key this year. But this is me as of right now. So this is me at 85 kilos, so I'm 5 kilos off. And you know what? All things considered, I've gained 20 key. The fact you can still kind of see my abs at the top there, I'll take it, and I'm comfortable in my own skin. And to be honest, I don't mind being a little thick, me, I don't mind being a bit soft. So yeah, the goal is for 2026, still want to do kind of natural bodybuilding style training, just build a great physique. I want to get up to 90 kilos by the end of this year, then cut down, just get nice and ripped. Once I've cut down, and I'm between probably 75 to 80 kilos, but once I have kind of built this physique, then the goal is to just be able to move with it as well as possible, and then just see where it goes from there. I think from there you just want to maintain. The goal is right now, or the goal has been for the past 3 years, just absolutely send it while I still can, so that then I can just maintain it after, because if I'm really intense with it and put the work in now, it'll be easier to maintain later. But like I said, I've made so many mistakes and hit so many roadblocks. Here is probably my top 5 advice for you in terms of your training program. Don't overcomplicate it with high volume, low volume, and all that stuff. The main thing I want to focus on is just intensity. Make sure every single set is hard. When I first started recording myself in the gym, I thought like the set was tough, like it was a proper pump, but then I actually looked and like my last reps were so easy. So if your last reps, if you're pushing as hard as possible and you've got to probably grind out your reps, that's how you know you're getting close to failure. If you're just like this on your last few, it's way too easy. Try to get out the habit of thinking, oh, we just need to hit 12 reps or 15 reps. Your working set, if you get to 15 and you've still got loads left in the tank, just empty the tank. You'll figure out how heavy you should go for the next one as weeks go by. So always put intensity first. Make sure you train as hard as you can, safely. Nutrition wise, okay, keep your protein anywhere between 2 to 2.6 per kilo of your body weight. So for example, if you weigh 90 kilos, at least 180 grams of protein. And then one thing that's really helped me was having training day and rest day calories. So all it is you keep your protein the same on your training day and your rest day for the most part. Your fats tend to be the same as well, it's just your carbs. So try and keep your carbs lower on your rest days. Main reason being, if you're not putting them to use, there's no need to, especially if you kind of got a job where you're sitting around a lot or you don't really move much on the days you're not training. Just save those carbs for the training day and you'll be able to, 1, push more in your sessions, but you'll just feel better. 3 is injuries. Okay, the last thing I want you to do is try and push through an injury when you're injured. I've made that mistake so many times. I've fucked myself up in the long run. My ankle especially still haunts me to this day. When it comes to shoulders these days, I actually barely do any kind of overhead pressing. I did overhead press recently for the first time in like years, and you know what, it felt okay. But even stuff like lat pull downs or bent over rows, I still can't do those because for whatever reason they just really hit my shoulder. Find exercises that work for you. Don't feel you kind of have to do specific exercises just because you've done them before. I had a lower back injury, so don't deadlift anymore. I love deadlifts, they're probably one of my favourite exercises, but you just have to adapt, just depending on how kind of the injuries go. And that's okay, you'll still make a shitload of progress, you just have to play to your own strengths. If you're struggling for time and you can't quite figure out how to do things on your own, it's okay to go to a coach, it's okay to go to a personal trainer. I made more progress in probably 6 months actually getting help than I did for the previous 18 months before, so the only thing I wish I did was go sooner. Same thing with the physio, I should have went to a physio straight away instead of just kind of leaving it and hoping for the best. Finally, make peace with whatever position you're in now. So unfortunately, the worst habit that I had set my progress back a whole lot was I never used to actually take weekly progress photos. So I'd take one progress photo, hate it, I'd be absolutely disgusted with it, even though it wasn't even that bad, because in my mind I wasn't seeing what I thought I was going to see. So then I wouldn't take a progress photo for months and I'd just work away like a weirdo. Take another progress photo and be like, well, this isn't what I've been working away for, be extremely disappointed, get disheartened, stop, have a little bitch and a moan, and then get back to it again. Don't do that, okay? The best thing you can do in terms of your own mind and just to kind of put yourself at ease is make complete peace with whatever physique you have right now. And I don't care if you are massively underweight, you're massively overweight, you're skinny fat, whatever it is, try your best to like kind of just make peace with the physique that you have. And then if you're going to take your first step in a fitness journey, then start taking weekly progress photos, because as you get used to seeing your own body week by week, I can't express how important that is, because if you start off your fitness journey from a place of kind of negativity and just kind of a place of insecurity or self-hatred, you're going to be super motivated and you're going to want to do things, super quick, super fast. However, that bright light burns fast, and soon that negativity, especially when you start to get more stressed, will just really start to just weigh you down. Whereas if you're moving from a position of kind of peace and light, you're going to feel so much better for it. You're going to be able to see the big picture. The worst thing is when you kind of go to that dark place and all that kind of shit, it's tunnel vision and you can't see the forest for the tree. Really try and be okay with the physique that you have and find the positives that you can already see in it. Shit, man. Looking back, bro, if I would have had the confidence back then that I would have had now, it's not from the actual physique. Going to the gym and training was the catalyst for building my own confidence, but I just happened to fall in love with weight training in the process. So by that, what I mean is, if getting bigger muscles and having a good physique wasn't the end result of weight training, I think I would still weight train anyway. I just happen to really enjoy it. I love the technicality of it. I love big lifts, so even though I can't do them anymore, I love the precision that comes with them and the technicalities that come with it. If you put your hips a certain way on a squat, it affects your hips more than your quads, all that kind of stuff. Or on a bench, being able to activate more upper chest and lower chest, all that kind of stuff I found really interesting. So even if this wasn't the kind of reward of training, I still would train anyway. But the only thing you can do is live and learn. I don't know if I've just rambled on, talked a whole bunch of nothing. If I can make any sense of this video, then I will. But if you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment. And if you're starting your own fitness journey or looking to get started, just send me a message. I can talk about this stuff all day. If you would love to become a client so I can actually help you get some results, please jump on. Don't be scared. Have a sick day. Happy Sunday. And I'll see you later. Peace.